Have you ever felt like life was pushing you down, only to realize later that it was actually setting you up for something greater? What if I told you that the worst moments of your life could be the very stepping stones to your success? Let me take you on a journey, a story that will challenge the way you see failure, struggle, and even tragedy. Imagine this: a man who lost everything, his job, his family, and even his will to live. But just when he thought it was the end, something extraordinary happened. At first, it seemed like his life was over, but little did he know, this was the beginning of a transformation that would inspire millions. So if you've ever felt stuck, defeated, or unsure of your purpose, this story is for you. Because sometimes the darkest moments are the ones that lead us to the brightest light. Let's dive in. In a small, quiet village, there lived a man named Raj. Raj was once a successful entrepreneur, running a thriving business that provided for his family and earned him respect in his community. But life had other plans. One day, a series of unfortunate events unfolded. A sudden economic downturn wiped out his business, debts piled up, and Raj lost everything he had worked so hard to build. To make matters worse, his wife, unable to handle the stress, left him, taking their young daughter with her. Raj was devastated. He felt like a failure, a man who had let down everyone who depended on him. He spent months in despair, barely able to get out of bed. The once ambitious entrepreneur was now a shadow of his former self. No matter how hard he tried to pick up the pieces, success seemed out of reach. Every attempt to rebuild his life ended in disappointment. He began to believe that his best days were behind him. But then, something happened that would change everything. One rainy evening, as Raj wandered the streets, lost in his thoughts, he stumbled upon an old man sitting under a tree. The man was frail but had a calm, wise presence. Raj, desperate for any glimmer of hope, sat down beside him. The old man noticed Raj's despair and asked, "Why do you carry such a heavy heart?" Raj poured out his story, sharing every detail of his struggles. The old man listened intently and then said something that would stay with Raj forever. Sometimes life doesn't give us what we want, not because we don't deserve it, but because we're meant for something greater. Your failures are not the end. They're the beginning of a new chapter. Raj was stunned. He had never thought of his struggles this way. The old man continued, "Let me tell you a story. There was once a king who lost his entire kingdom in a war. He thought his life was over, but during his exile, he discovered a hidden talent for storytelling. Years later, he became a legendary bard, inspiring generations with his tales." This story within a story struck a chord with Raj. He realized that maybe, just maybe, his failures were preparing him for something bigger. With renewed hope, Raj decided to change his perspective. Instead of seeing himself as a victim, he began to see his struggles as opportunities for growth. He started small, taking odd jobs and learning new skills. Slowly but surely, he began to rebuild his life. Years later, Raj looked back at his journey and realized something incredible. The failure of his business had forced him to explore new paths. The pain of losing his family had taught him resilience and empathy. What seemed like the end of his story was actually the beginning of a new one. Raj went on to start a nonprofit organization that helped struggling entrepreneurs rebuild their lives. His own experiences became the foundation for his mission to inspire and uplift others. The biggest failure of his life had become the reason for his greatest success, and the old man's words echoed in his mind. Sometimes the worst moments are the ones that lead us to our true purpose. Looking back, Raj realized that every setback, every tear, and every moment of despair had been part of a bigger plan, a plan that led him to greatness. So what's the lesson here? It's simple. Greatness isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and using it as fuel to rise higher. What seemed like a setback for Raj was actually a setup for something greater. And the same can be true for you. The struggles you're facing right now might just be the foundation for your future success. Remember, everything happens for a reason. The key is to keep moving forward, even when the path seems impossible. If this story inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more motivational content. And let me know in the comments. What's a moment in your life that seemed bad at first, but turned out to be a blessing? Until next time, remember, greatness is within your reach. You just have to believe.
的。